Hi and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and if you have not been here, I'm playing a game called Jokes on Me, and this is the 7th episode. So I have been playing this game for 7 rounds, I guess. That's not a round. You'll see. Let me show you the board and what I've been trying to do. Okay, I've been playing it for 6 times, I guess, and sometimes I only get to read 3 books per episode. Sometimes, like last time, I read 6 books per episode. So it just depends on how long it takes me to read them and all of that stuff. These are all the books that I have read in those 6 episodes. And this is as far as I am around the board. I started right here in this top corner, and I have gone across here and down here. Now, have I been other places on the board? Absolutely I have. But this is where I am right now. The only other thing you really need to know is if I draw a joker, I have to start back over up here. Otherwise, things pretty much go as they're shown on the board. So, I also am not adding the cards that I've already drawn. So they stay over to the side and my deck is getting smaller and smaller. Also, I can never decide if I like drawing 3 cards and then reading, all the 3 prompts and then not checking in, and then drawing some more, or if I like drawing one at a time. And I think I'm going to go one at a time this round, just because I'm going to be reading other stuff in between these books, and I want to make sure I don't lose track of what I'm doing. Okay, so I'm so scared, but here is number 1. I can tell it's a face card. It's a jack. Unhaul a book. So, I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to do anything. The sadness is that I don't get to move, though. I have a little stack of books that are potentially to be unhauled, so I guess I'll grab another one of those. I'm probably going to do one called Alive. That's probably going to be the one I unhaul. Okay, shuffle again and draw one more time. Because I do at least draw till I get a book. And I know I said shuffle one more time, but I had to do it twice. Okay, here we go. It's not a joker. I can tell it's not a joker. It's a 4. And we have to move back 4 spaces. 1, 2, 3, 4. Highest rated. Okay. These are the books that I have left. This is what I started with. These are the ones that I have read. And then if I remove all of them and add in a couple from a new thing, this is what I have to read. So I'm going to go find which one is the highest rated, and that's what I'll read. Okay, so I have 5 books that are in the 4.3 range. And Fountains of Silence is the 5th one, 4.31. We Are Not Free is 4.33. The Becoming is 4.34, Ascendant is 4.37, and the one with the kiss cam is 4.38. Now, this is the one I'm going to read because it has the highest rating right now on Goodreads. However, it has one of the lowest number of ratings, so I feel like it might not be the one that has the highest rating after more people have rated it. But it's fine. It's fine. I do not mind starting out with one of my NetGalley books, and it's a romance. It'll be easy, fast to read. That's a good way to start this game, especially since we had to go back in time. So let me grab it down here, the one with the kiss cam, and I will move it over here. It'll have to be much smaller, but for now, we don't care about that. So here it is, the one with the kiss cam. That's where I'm starting. We've managed to go backwards in our first draw. So I have to unhaul a book and read this one, and I'll check back in when I'm done with that. Okay, yeah, it is almost 11 o'clock at night, but I just finished the one with the kiss cam, and I couldn't go to sleep without knowing, well, let's be honest, I'm not going to sleep right now, but I would like to pick what my next book is so that I can start it tonight before I go to sleep. Now, the one with the kiss cam, first of all, it's super cute. I don't know that I call it best of what was left, since that's what it was supposed to be, as the highest rated book. But it was very nice. It was wholesome. There was no spice. There was no anything other than kissing. So if you would like to recommend this to someone who likes those kind of books, otherwise it was adorable. We have our main character who has grown up in a crap family where she pretty much has to take care of everything, and she's on a date with a blind date with a guy at a basketball game, and he apparently is the worst. Like, he's super stinky and stuff, which I'm just like, what? Like, would an adult go on a date being like real stinky and he was wearing a tank top, and she was talking about his body hair coming out around the tank top? Anyway, that was her date, and he got up to go get a hot dog, and while he was gone, the kiss cam came on her and the guy beside her, who she thought smelled much better. Anyway, things proceeded from there. Okay, I am shuffling, and here we go, y'all. How did I draw another 4? I drew another 4. How can you not see it? Listen, now I'm concerned. This is the last 4 that I drew, so it's definitely not... How many 4s are in this deck? There's another one. That is the last 4. I have now drawn all the 4s. 1, 2, 3, 4. The first one on Goodreads. Well, that means storygraph, right? I don't know what that means, like first on Goodreads. Like the oldest one that's been on Goodreads? Because I feel like that would be on... oldest TBR or something. Do I have one called that, or is that what this is? I've got a longest on shelf. Maybe that's what that is, the one we've had the longest, because Bailey made this to read the actual books that she owns. So maybe this is the first one you see when you go to your home on Goodreads and scroll. I don't think anybody's trying to read the ones that I have on my list, so I might be scrolling for a while before I find one. I can't believe I got another 4. That was very good. I'm glad Amy's reading it. This is what I'm going to do going through this list. Those are on my list, but they're not. Oh, Martha Wells. Okay. Well, I have been scrolling for a while, and I've not found anything that is on my list. So I'm going to go over to Storygraph, and I'm just going to pick the one that is the oldest on my list. So, earliest added of all my books, What's Mine and Yours? Contemporary fiction, emotional, medium paced. This might not be the best book for me right now. I'm feeling like a fast paced thriller or like a just sweet romance, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, it says I have it on Libby. So I'm going to put my books up, or my cards up, and I'm going to get What's Mine and Yours. It is, I know it's over here. Where is it? Right here. Okay. I'll check back when I finish What's Mine and Yours. Okay, I finished What's Mine and Yours, and I'm going to be drawing another card, but let's talk about it for a second. I learned some things about myself. Also, it's really snowing outside. Django has his sweater on. He's ready to go. He just came in from outside. Okay, so what did I learn? I learned that realistic writing, meaning contemporary stories or even probably historical fiction stories, but more so contemporary stories that just tell about real life, make me sad. I need it to be real life still with a happy ending. And actually, it doesn't have to be happy, like everybody's amazing and everything's perfect and everybody lives happily ever after. And in this book, it's about 2 separate families and everybody surrounding those families, and we follow them through years and years of their lives, from when the kids are elementary age children all the way up to when they're like adults and in their 30s. But it jumps around. If you need timeline, if you need any kind of prompt that says the timeline jumps around, it has multiple POVs, this one is for you. Now, there was one part in here with one couple in here, and I feel like at the very end, if there had just been like the little tiniest bit of hint that this could go the way of happiness that I wanted it to go, I would have felt completely differently about this book. I'm going to give it 4 stars. It was so well written. The characters are so real. And yes, when I looked at this before I picked it over on Storygraph, it said it was medium paced. It probably is, because there's not a ton of plot. So I don't know that I would call this fast paced. However, I liked picking it up. Every time I was going to go read it again, I was not like, oh, I have to read this book because joke's on me. I wanted to pick it up and I wanted to read it. It was so good, but it didn't at least leave me with hope that things are going to be better. And I know that in real life, people don't always get better. Like, you don't always get the best or the better scenario from where you are right now. But I think that's what I want from my fiction. If I'm going to be reading a story that is entertaining for me, when it's over with, I want to feel that hope that things will get better. Or I just can't be left with the sadness of this is what we live in. This pit of where we are right now is how it is. So I liked it. I wished it ended a little bit differently. We don't have any more 4s. We can't go backwards anymore unless this is a joker. I don't want to look. Okay, it's a 2, which sucks because we have to do the prompt twice. Y'all, the last time we landed on this book club, I had to do the prompt twice, right? 1, 2. I'm real mad about this. And I don't even know what I did last time when I landed on this. So, none of these are for a book club. None of these even anymore are even for... Like, I've already done everything on the spring into reading thing. I can't start any of the April ones yet because it's not technically April yet. Okay, so I'm just going to say that all of these books are part of a book club book because they're all for TBRs. So we're just going to randomly pick 2 numbers and see which 2 books we're going to be doing for this prompt. I love that I finally got to go forward on the board and it was 2 spaces. By the way, yes, these are springy, cute earrings. I just happened to wear them today, and they match my purple sweatshirt. Anyway, that's definitely an important thing for us to talk about. 36 books. Pick a number 1 to 36. She's thinking about it a long time. Pick a number between 1 and 36. Okay, I literally cannot get her to do it. So... I'm going to get out of the way. I just realized that I've been covering up the screen the whole time. I'm getting out of the way. Here is 1 to 36. Number 8. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Woman last seen in her 30s. Okay, and then the next one. Number 31. Okay, well, if this is 36, 35, 34, 33, 32, 31. Angels, Inc. Okay. So both of these covers have women on them where you can't see the features of their face. Okay, so what you didn't get to see, let me get out of the way, is that I moved from where I was right here 2 spaces and I got book club pick. That's it. I've moved 2 spaces. Okay, there are 26 cards in half of a normal deck of cards. So if we add in 2 jokers, that's 28 cards. I am 2 cards from being halfway through. I have drawn 24 cards so far in this game. And I am 11 spaces from the beginning. Anyway, I'm going to read Women in Her 30s and I'll be back to check in when I am done. Okay, well, I finished Woman Last Seen in Her 30s. I read it just in the last, it probably took me, 4 hours, a little over 4 hours to read it today. Thank goodness it's a weekend, but it's bedtime now and I've got everything ready for work tomorrow because it's Monday tomorrow. So I'm now going to read Angels, Inc. And I just thought, after What's Mine and Yours and now Woman Last Seen in Her 30s, I need something completely different. And I think this is going to be perfect. I actually went and looked because I was like, I need to know the plot of this. I'm going to tell you about Woman in Her 30s in just a second. But Angels, Inc., first of all, has a thing from J.R. Ward, has a little blurb from J.R. Ward, and I love her. If you've seen my 50 Before 50 series, she's on there. Anyway, it says, gritty, authentic, and fast-paced, this urban fantasy series rocks. So I'm like, okay. And it says this is the first book in Jocelyn Drake's Asylum Tales. Genre fans who know about her other stuff will be blown away by this dark and seductive new series, meet Gage, a magical tattoo artist trying to remain hidden and alive in a world where elves, fairies, trolls, werewolves, and vampires mingle freely with humans, and warlocks and witches rule the roost with merciless cruelty. So that sounds completely different than what I have just read. Anyway, so I got probably 20% into this book, and I thought, am I going to have to quit this book? I was getting that, like, my stomach hurts and I need for things to be better than they are right now, because we were dealing with a woman who is just a little bit older than me, who's been married for 28 years, and I'm about to celebrate my 25th wedding anniversary in a couple months, and her husband just comes in one day and was like, I'm leaving. And she's like, what? Why? Like, completely out of the blue. Although I will say that as the book goes on, she talks about some of the things that she's noticed about her husband. And I'm like, that was not out of the blue. Like, maybe you weren't thinking about leaving, but there were definite signs and definite things happening. Anyway, he says, I'm leaving. They have grown children in their mid and late 20s. And so he leaves, and she's stuck trying to figure out what's going to happen. So she goes on the trip to Rome that they had both already planned to celebrate their 28th wedding anniversary that's coming up. She goes by herself. She meets a woman there who is gonna live in Rome for 6 months. And she's like, hey, if you want to move to Michigan and take my house for the 6 months that I'm in Rome, you can definitely do that. And so she's like, okay, I'm going to do that. So she goes there for 6 months. It tells you on the back of the book that she takes a trip to Rome. She gets a new job, potentially a new boyfriend. And anyway, the first 20%, I was so super worried because I didn't read the synopsis, and I thought, oh, this woman is going to do all this mess. Like, she was coordinating a Thanksgiving so that her husband would walk in and see their family and be like, oh yeah, I can't believe I'm giving this up. And I was just like, please don't do that. Please don't turn into that person. So I felt really bad for her. But anyway, she got herself together. She started finding who she was. I like it that it says woman last seen in her 30s, because there is a thing that happens when you get older, and it is that people don't notice you. If you're not young, like really young, or if you're not carrying around young children, you can easily blend in to the environment that you're in a lot of situations. And so I just think she's in her 50s now, and she's like, I think the last time somebody really saw me was when I was in my 30s. And so it just brought up the feeling that I did not have that when I was in my 30s. Like, I think my 40s have been better for me than my 30s were. But also, my house situation and my spouse situation is way different than hers was. But there were a lot of similarities. Anyway, again, it was a contemporary novel. This one was way more leaning toward the romance than What's Mine and Yours. But still, both of them, I'm like, I need somebody to give me some paranormal. So I feel like Angels Inc. is exactly what I need. And it's a new series. Not that I really need another series, but at least it'll give me somewhere else to go. So I'm really excited about it. I'm a little concerned that I might stay up really late tonight and finish that book. So I might need to go ahead and draw my card so I know what's next. So that will not be healthy for me to not get any sleep or to just get a little bit of sleep. But I'm glad I'm shuffling these cards, because I just accidentally saw the top card and it's a joker. I can't go back and start this game over again right now. Although that did just remind me, there's a joker in this deck, and it's going to make me real sad when I draw it. Okay, I'm going to shuffle 3 times, and then I'm going to draw the top card. Oh, please don't be the joker. Because I just realized it could be. Oh, it's a 5. A 5 is just a 5. What? 1, 2, 3, 4. Last letter, first letter. So it's got to start with a K, because Angels Inc. ends with a K. And here we are over here. King in limbo. That's it. King in Limbo is the only K that I have over here. And it is a graphic novel from NetGalley. So that's not going to take me very long to read either. So once I finish my Angel's Ink, then I will read King in Limbo. That's nice. All right. So my cards go back in the container, and hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to come back out with what's happening and what happened in Angel's Ink, read King in Limbo, and draw my next card. We moved, guys. We moved. We're almost back where we started before I started drawing any of these cards. This made me go back 4. This made me go back. No, this made me go back 4. This made me go back 4. That's not true. This made me go back. Wait, I went back twice. Why? What's happening? Oh, that's right. The one with the kiss cam made me go back 4 and do highest rated. Then I had to go back 4 and do first on Goodreads. And then I went forward 2 and now I've gone forward 5. So I'm not mad at it. Oh, I forgot to get the book though. So I probably will see how long this one is after I read King in Limbo, and that might be as far as I go in this video, or maybe I'll go further. But in either case, I'm going to read Angel's Ink while I lay down to go to bed. I will see you guys later. Okay, so a couple of things have changed. Number 1, I finished Angel's Ink. So let me move it up here. It was a very, very similar to the Dresden Files. Like, we're dealing with a male main character. He's a witch or a warlock, and he has supernatural beings that are helping him and work for him or work with him. Anyway, but instead of being a private investigator like Dresden is, our Gage is a tattoo artist, but he can combine different things into the tattoo ink to affect the person that is being tattooed. It's kind of cool. Anyway, I really liked it. There were some issues with the audiobook narrator. I did not love him, especially the way he did anybody else's voice. Like, the normal voice that he used for Gage was fine, but if he did anybody else's voice, I did not like it. They either sounded like, well, the main female character that works with him in the tattoo parlor, the tattoo place, she sounded like a little child. And I was like, oh no, I do not like that. So anyway, I just did not like the audio narration of this one, but I really liked the book. Then, because it ended in K, I was supposed to do the Kings in Limbo, whatever. Well, when I went over to NetGalley, that has already been archived, so I can't get that book without paying for it. So I went to my library, I looked at my library. I did ask them to order it and get notified when it comes in, because I do still want to read it. But it was the only K that I had. So I went to the next letter in Angel's Ink, and it was an N. So I went to Number Call. And this is a manga. It's supposed to be like, starts out set in high school, and there's these 2 boys. One of them's name is 8 in Japanese. The other one's name sounds like 8 in English. So I still don't know that I get that. Like, I guess I do if you know both Japanese and English. Otherwise, if you don't know both of those languages, you have no idea that there's a cute little number thing going with their names. But anyway, I got about halfway through this and I was like, I'm done. I was not enjoying the writing that was used. The words that were used in translation maybe lost something. But we have a guy, well, they got together in high school, and then one of them just went off to go live his life. And when he comes back home, the one that stayed is a lighthouse, living in the lighthouse, and like, everybody thinks he's a recluse and he never comes out, but then our guy goes to see him and he won't even open the door. He's like, I don't want to talk to you. And so we've got a guy who's like hiding himself away, and he never wanted anything but the one guy who went away. And I can't even call them 8. Their names are both 8. This is so weird. Anyway, I just said no. I was done with this. There was way too much forced angst and no reconciliation of past things were happening or trying to happen. So I just said no. And I hate to end this on a down note like this, but it's one more book that's gone off the list. And also the list has changed. So there were like two other books that were already moved, already archived in NetGalley that I went ahead and took off the list, just the NetGalley ones. That way I wasn't getting all cluttered up with books that I would have to go pay for or find somewhere. And we just had the books that I knew I had access to. So that's what we're looking at right now. And that's where I'm going to leave it with this episode. Honestly, we started this episode right here, and we're ending it one space back from where we started. And I managed to read 5 books. So this really is the never-ending game of Jokes on Me. But I'm going to kick off another one. It's going to be time for me to start my Aurelium soon. So I don't know when you're going to watch these. I don't know when they're going to come out. I guess I'm just going to intersperse them with everything else that's going on the channel. But at least I'm still reading and still trying to get these knocked out before the end of April. So more Jokes on Me coming up. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye. I got 2 pair of glasses on. All right. I gotta fix that before I talk about this book.